If you can harness the power of storytelling in how you capture, how you edit your B-roll, then you will have a chance to make people feel something. Stories, when told well, hold people's attention and have the power to move people in emotive ways. This is the mark of a professional filmmaker. If that's something you'd like to learn how to do, then you should watch this video. It will not disappoint. Successful cinematographers, filmmakers, video creators, YouTubers, they all understand how to tell a story with their B-roll, not just get cool shots. Cool B-roll shots are cool, but if you want to supercharge your videos, if you want your videos to feel remarkably more cohesive, then you must learn, internalize, and practice storytelling with your B-roll filming and editing. Last month, I did a shoot at a gym, and in doing that, I planned out my production and guided my production based on the story of a workout. I broke that down into 3 parts, a beginning, middle, and end. I knew that I was gonna have some restrictions. I knew I was gonna be filming by myself, and I knew I was only gonna have 2 hours on location at the gym shooting. So we have our beginning, middle, and end. Virtually anything that you're going to film, anything that you're going to capture can be looked at in this manner. You're going to start in one place, you're going to move along in time, and you're going to end at another place. If you're digging this video, click the thumbs up. For the story of a workout, I visualized the beginning and the end before I filmed. So I wanted to tell the beginning with a shot of the talent walking into the gym in some fashion. And I also really wanted to get a shot of slow motion chalk hand clapping, kind of preparing for a workout. And then I wanted to end it with the talent looking directly into the camera, out of breath, and sort of this hero shot as my ending shot. For the middle of the video, I used my B-roll capturing method, which includes the 5-shot technique. And that's really what I leaned on for capturing the B-roll for the majority of this video. If you're not familiar with the 5-shot technique and you want to dig into it, you can just open up this link in a new tab where I break down my B-roll methodology and how I film B-roll. Go watch that when you're done watching this video. But for now, the 5-shot technique in a nutshell is you get a wide of the action, you get a close-up of the action, you get a close-up of the face that is doing the action, the person that's doing the action, you get a creative shot, and you get a over-the-shoulder or a POV shot of the action to connect everything together. The beauty of this approach is that you're able to get the B-roll coverage you need to tell a story, mediums, wides, reactions, actions, while still being able to experiment. If you like what you're hearing, subscribe below. Additionally, my wide shot of an action is absolutely going to be different than your wide shot of an action because your style, your aesthetic preferences, your compositional preferences will not be the same as mine or anyone else's. The 5-shot technique works so well because it gives the cinematographer as close to a guaranteed foundation to build a story with the footage as there can be, while still allowing for endless amounts of creativity. Once I arrived on location, I took about 5-10 minutes and I sat down with the talent and we talked about what exercises we were gonna have for the day. We decided on 5. We were gonna do a deadlift, a squat, a hamstring curl, a ropes exercise, and a jumping exercise. Now that I had an idea of what we actually were going to be doing for the 2 hours in the gym, I was able to formulate a plan in my head on how I was gonna capture that. For each exercise, I would do the 5-shot technique, plus some other shots. If I could, I would add slow motion if the action had a faster motion, and I would also pick up some insert shots to help better tell the story for those actions. And then on top of that, I was going to make sure that I filmed the intro shots and the outro shots that I wanted, plus color chips. Having practiced a similar methodology for capturing B-roll when I film documentary style content, I did not need to write down what I was going to accomplish for the day. I knew that I would be able to remember and instinctively capture this stuff. If you are new to this, or if you want to make sure you don't miss anything, write this stuff down. I write this stuff down depending on the project. This one I didn't, but just write it in your phone or on a piece of paper and reference it as you go through the day. If you have a question, drop a comment below. I knew that I only had a limited amount of time. So for my setup, I was going to go handheld the entire time, do a little slow-mo here and there, which is pretty easy to switch back and forth on my camera. And I was going to use a single light with a reflector as a flag. For the specific shots that I had planned out before that I wanted to get for the intro and outro, I took a little time and figured out when I was going to do those. For the intro shot, I wasn't going to use a light, so we we're going to just get that at the very end of the shoot. For the chalk close-up shot, I wanted to get that at the deadlift location because that's where the chalk is kept and it makes the most sense to be in that area. And then for the outro shot, I wanted to have depth behind her. So I was going to wait for a setup as we went through the workouts that gave that depth and then just do that outro shot at that moment. The important thing to take away from that is that you don't actually need to film your intro or your outro in sequential order. You can do them when it's convenient and when it lends itself to the look that you're trying to accomplish. So film out of order if you need to. So for the meat of the video, we move through the exercises, and fortunately for me, each exercise was repeated multiple times, like 4 or 5 times, which allowed me to do one set of wide shots, one set of close-ups of the action, one set of over-the-shoulder shots, one set of reaction shots, one set of creative shots. That structure allowed me to do that. If you're filming an activity that doesn't naturally fall into a repetitive motion where you can redo your wides, redo your close-ups, you could ask your talent to repeat the action 4 or 5 times so you can get the coverage you need to tell a good story with your B-roll. We wrapped the production. I'm back in the edit. I have an intro, I have an outro, and then I have a huge chunk of time and a whole lot of story to create in between the two to make a cohesive piece. I wanted to tell the story of a workout at the gym. You arrive, you prepare for each exercise, you do each exercise, you put away the equipment, and the exercise is done. But telling this story in a completely linear manner could be boring. It runs the risk of being long and disjointed as a whole. As in, if we showed each workout being completed and then the next one being completed and the next one being completed, it would just not work that well. So the structure for this edit was intended to tell the whole story of a workout in a snappy manner. And intercutting was the path taken for the middle section of this edit. If you're looking for valuable tools to help you become a successful freelance filmmaker, I have a ton at nixfort.com/shop. Producer kit, contract kit, client kit, pricing worksheet, cinema LUTs, all that good stuff. Go check it out. With the wealth of coverage for each exercise, I was able to have a lot of creative freedom and shot choice with intercutting to shape the story. We started simply with the planned intro and began intercutting the beginning sections of some of the other exercises, picking up the ropes, putting the plate onto the barbell. These are kind of insert shots, more or less, to the activity. And then a shot of her approaching the barbell. It's still the beginning of the exercise, but we moved on from the preparatory into the action. And then we start the actual workout. And we're going to cover that with multiple angles. We have an interesting low shot followed by a more close-up on the action. And then we have this sort of punch zoom in from the side, just an interesting shot with some stuff in the foreground here. And we're sort of moving back and forth between multiple different exercises and progressing through them one by one and making more progress through the workout of each exercise pushed up against one another, going between wides, tights, over the shoulder, close up of her face, close up of the action, some creative shots in here mixed in to keep it interesting. And then as we progress further into this story of the workout, I started to show the struggle in her facial expressions to showcase that progress is being made with the workout. And then we come to a conclusion where we see her finishing multiple workouts back to back, intercutting those finishes together. And then we finally land on the outro shot that I had planned. And one final shot made it in that was not planned. And this is the actual true ending of this video. It's a shot of her putting the weights away, a wide shot, low angle, And I love these long shots that are just very true to what happens in real life. And that's sort of how I decided to end this, because it just feels right. It feels like the end of a workout. It feels authentic. And it was part of the 5-shot technique that I had used when I captured this B-roll. If you're finding this helpful, please share this video with someone else who will also find it helpful. Film with intention. Make a plan, however detailed or loose, to help you tell your story with your B-roll coverage. Then learn from every shoot. What can you improve on during the next one? Build your B-roll coverage on the foundation of story, then make it cool. Get creative, make it your own, and then we can all tell better stories in our own style. All right, it's question time. Every week I answer some of your questions at the end of my video, so drop a comment below if you have one. And this week's question comes from Nick, and he asks, how do you best figure out what companies need/want in terms of offering appealing packages? And he says, in the hospital example, so I shared an example of how I've done a lot of work with hospitals in the past. And he's saying, how do you figure out what the hospital wants? Is it short form content, commercials, FAQ? He says, I imagine it's better that I offer something specific than go, hey guys, y'all want a video or something. And I 100% agree that that is the case. And I think the short answer is you should do a lot of research. I think you need to research the client that you're going after. What kind of work have they done? What kind of work has been successful for them? And also research their competition. What kind of work has their competition done? What has been successful for their competition? And if you can take something that they've done and combining with something someone else has done and make something kind of new, sort of reframe an idea so it's unique for them, that can position themselves to be successful, that's a good start. And then if you're able to get a conversation going with the marketing department at a company that you're trying to work for, then you can ask them what their goals are and find out what they're trying to accomplish as a marketing goal and figure out what video element can help them accomplish that goal. And that's really the best way to figure out what they need and what they want. Throwing random ideas at them or some sort of like cookie cutter offering can work in certain industries, but I think most often you really want to try to do the research based on their specific goals and then try to give them something that's going to help them achieve those specific goals.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal,